If you're an audio or video creator using an iPhone for your content, is it worthwhile upgrading from something like the trusty, reliable iPhone 6 to something like the iPhone XS? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you about my experience so far and whether I think you should take the plunge and upgrade. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete, and this is Studio Live Today, where I help you create, record, and release your best music. And for the longest time, I've been doing exactly that, using my trusty old iPhone 6s Plus. But very recently, I upgraded to this little sucker, the shiny new iPhone XS. Now, my experience so far has been mixed, so I thought in this video I would take you through the pros and the cons that I've experienced so far with the iPhone XS, so that you can decide whether it's worthwhile you updating and upgrading your phone. So let's jump in right now. Okay, so what I'm not going to do is give you a technical blow-by-blow, head-to-head technical showdown between these two phones, because there are plenty of other videos online that can do exactly that. But what I like to do here on the channel is give you a real-world, real user experience. And I have been in love with my iPhone 6s Plus for a very long time. So for me to make the plunge and make the stretch and actually go out and pick myself up a new phone is a pretty big deal. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the pros, the cons, and everything in between. So let's start with what I love about the new iPhone X. So let's start with the pros. What do I actually like about the iPhone XS? Well, number one is the battery life. It actually lasts an entire day without needing to be charged. So that is a plus. However, I'm pretty sure that my iPhone 6s Plus also lasted a full day back when it was brand new. So I'm not going to be too excited about that until we actually test that over time. But for now, I'm pretty happy that I don't have to carry a battery with me everywhere I go. I can actually have a charged up phone. That is number one. Number two is the screen. The screen on this is really good. It does have some downsides, which I'll get to in the cons, but it's a really nice, really bright, really nice display that we have on the iPhone XS. So I really like that. Face ID, I thought I would hate. I actually like the ability to pick your phone up and not have to hold your finger on the sensor or not have to punch in your keypad. That is a very cool feature. The cameras, I said cameras because there are multiple cameras on this phone on the front and the back. I haven't even explored those enough to work out exactly how good they are, but just from the few videos I've shot and the few photos that I've shot so far, they are really amazingly good. And the processing power and the speed of this thing is ridiculous. So it has handled any app that I've thrown at it. GarageBand is great. LumaFusion, which I do my video editing on, is fantastic. Nice big screen, nice bright OLED display. Really can't go wrong with that. And storage size. I've got 256 gigabytes of space on this one, just the 64 on this one. So I'm already loving the ability to store a bunch of stuff on this that I wasn't able to do on my iPhone 6. So there are a heap of pros. And yes, spoiler alert, the pros outweigh the cons. But I know that you want to hear about what I don't like about the iPhone XS. So let's jump into that now. Yes, no headphone jack. And now I knew going in this had no headphone jack, and I thought it may be a problem because I'm so used to having the headphone jack on my iPhone 6s Plus, and I tried to be positive about it. I really did. And look, I will get used to it. This is not a showstopper because you know what? You cannot buy a good quality smartphone with a headphone jack these days. They shipped these with it, which are the EarPods, which have the lightning connector. I really don't like them. They're really basic. They don't sound good in my opinion. And I had to go out and spend $15 Australian on this, a dongle. Yes, I'm one of those people now that carries around a small piece of plastic just so that I can hook up my headphones to my iPhone. And yes, it works, but I can't charge it. I need to go on eBay or go out and buy myself a separate dongle that has the charger and the 3.5mm jack, which do exist and I can do it. But you know what? I've lost this. I've had a week, not even a week, and I've lost this maybe 7 or 8 times because it's a tiny piece of plastic. So I'm not particularly impressed with the fact that I have to do that because you know what? There's plenty of room in here. We could have had a headphone jack in here. So yes, for those that said, hey, it doesn't have a headphone jack, I'm not going to like it, you're not going to like it. I don't like it, and that is my number one con with this. The number two is the screen size here. So I won't show you in detail because it'll just look all weird on the camera there, but the screen is at a strange resolution. It's not 16:9. It's actually, I can't even remember what it is. It is shorter and wider than that. So it's wider screen. It's like the widescreen movie screens. And it means that if I'm recording a screenshot or if I'm recording some video to use in a tutorial, it's going to not be 16:9. And 16:9 is your standard for all of your videos. So that's a bit of a pain. Everything is stretched out. And even some of the apps that I'm using where I'm tapping down here on the bottom, like everything goes to the very bottom of the screen. So I can't actually, I'm tapping up here and getting my thumb down to there while holding it is a bit of a pain. But, you know, these are things I'll get used to. The other thing is that a lot of people have mentioned no home button. So no home button there. We have to swipe up instead of touching that. And Face ID, which I mentioned before was okay, is okay. It logs in really quickly. It's taking some getting used to doing that. So yeah, not being able to click the home button and switching apps. So you're having to go swipe up and hold there and then slide through to switch my apps. That is taking some getting used to as well. Those are not showstoppers, and neither is the headphone jack. In fact, nothing in this phone is a showstopper. Actually, the screen resolution is probably the biggest thing for me because I do a lot of video and because I do a lot of tutorial videos. That's actually going to take some adjustment because taking screen capture video using this, I'll probably still be using this to actually do my screen captures in GarageBand and in LumaFusion and other things because it's going to be 16:9. Otherwise, I'm going to have to trim off the edges or you're going to have black bars at the top or bottoms of your video. So those are the main cons, but let's cut to the chase. Let's look for the conclusion here. Would I recommend upgrading from this to this? You know what I say about gear? I say this a lot here on the channel, is if you have a need, if you have a problem with the gear that you have right now, then maybe it's worth getting new gear. And here's what my problem was. My battery wasn't lasting the entire day. My processor was meaning that I had optimizing performance in my GarageBand. It meant that my LumaFusion wasn't running as smoothly as I wanted to. And my camera wasn't producing the quality videos that I wanted to. I mean, I'm on my webcam right here. This is my Logitech C922, but using the iPhone camera wasn't really cutting it. And yes, I have a DSLR that I use sometimes, but I wanted a really good quality high definition camera on my phone. So I had a need to actually upgrade my phone. If you don't have any of those needs, don't upgrade your phone. It's as simple as that. Gear should be a tool. Gear should be something that you go, I have something that I want to do. I can no longer do it or I can't do it with the gear that I have. I better go out and find myself some new gear. And it took me, like, I struggled through for over a year with gear where the battery would run out, where the processor wasn't powerful enough, and the storage space, I did mention it before, but 256 gig versus 64. That is really helping out. So there you go. I hope that helps you out. If you're on the fence and if you're thinking, hey, I really need to get a new phone, stop and think, why do you need to get the new phone? What is your phone not doing that you need it to do? And if you can say, it's not doing this and I need to do these things, then go out and get yourself a new phone if it's within your budget. If you can continue on with your current phone, and like I said, I'll keep using this for a lot of the things that I do, then go ahead and do that too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little rant here and it helped you with your decisions if you are in the market. If you've got comments, questions, or suggestions, leave those down there and I'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for sticking around. There's 2 more sets of videos right down below that you may want to check out. You can also subscribe to the channel by clicking on the Studio Live Today icon up in the top right corner, or you can go over to studiolivetoday.com for even more audio goodness.